Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. Hey, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. Vets, I love you. You have a place here. We back the blue over here. We support Leo. Scab, how do you do that, son? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. Well, big shout out to my guy Timbo. Awesome dude. I'm going to put a link in the description below to his channel. Please go check out Timbo. Awesome dude, man. I can't say that enough. He allowed me to test out these two beautiful bark rivers. Now, the one we're doing today is the Shining Mountain Bowie. It is A2 tool steel. The handle is that aged stacked leather, reminiscent kind of a K-bar. It does have a butt cap that's held on with a screw, stick tang, but this is A2 tool steel that's 1/4 inch thick. Convex grind. It's got a 10 1/4 inch overall blade. The cutting edge is 9 1/4. Handles 5. Now, when I say 5, that's from the bottom of the guard to the top of the to the bottom of the little cap. That's not the full, it's where your hand goes, if that makes sense. There's another 1/4 to 1/2 inch beyond that. So overall length of this knife is about 16 inches. It is a 1/4 inch thick, convex cutting edge. Super duper sharp, man. It's Bark River. It's the Shining Mountain Bowie. I'm excited about doing this review. And again, Timbo, thank you, brother. I really, truly, honestly appreciate you. And again, guys, I'll put a link in the description. Timbo's channel is Timbo437. Please go check him out. Give him a shout. Give him a sub. Give him a subscribe. Listen, while we're talking about that, please hit like, share, and subscribe for me if you would. We're marching to 5,000 by next June. Man, we've been doing good, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much for all the support and the interaction you give. I want to talk a little bit about this sheath. This sheath is leather. It's beautifully stitched. Now, it does not unsnap, and it's not Molly. It's a leather sheath. That is a frog. A little unusual there, but you know, I guess the old school guys probably carried him like that. The sheath's beautiful, man. Now, that was you see the fierce look old Scab had. I don't know what I was doing there, son. You got to watch me sometimes. Now, this was a very thick cardboard thing there that still had some saran wrap on it. It cut it twice. The next one didn't go all the way in twain, but it got 3/4 of the way through. I wanted to do a couple of these. I like doing stuff like that. One, it's fun. And if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing this crap, okay? But one, it's fun. Two, it does show the sharpness of the knife. Now, I had some people warn me, Scab, be careful because it's stick tang, and I appreciate that. So, did we take it easy on the knife? No. And let me explain something to you. When I started this channel, two things. We were going to be honest and upfront, and we were going to review and test the knives to the best of our abilities. Now, I am a novice at best. I don't profess to be anything other than that. If you have a suggestion for doing a test or something like that, please leave it in the comments. Or if you think I'm doing something wrong, leave it in the comments. You know, that's all part of this. This is a learning and growing experience. Now, we did the Donnie B all day drop test, the Donnie B all day stab test, and the Donnie B all day throw it at the stump test. I do that to test the tip some. That's why you see me stabbing. This is an old red oak from West Virginia. Very hard piece of oak, very heavy piece of oak that my guy Richard gave me. Now, I do that, some hard downward throws into it, some hard stabs into it to test the tip. I had Brennan gave me a suggestion on doing a side-to-side on the buoys, side-to-side to test the tip, jam it in, go side-to-side, and we will start doing that. I feel like today we got a pretty good test in on the tip because what I started doing is between each test, like at the stump, you'll see me stab it. That's not for dramatic effect. I want to test the tip. I want to test the edge. If it's heat treated correctly, you'll have no chipping, no rolling, no dents, no dings, no nothing. This knife held up very well. And again, guys, the way we set these things up is we slash some, we chop some, we slash some, we go back to chopping. I did do some batoning. I did a little bit of everything, because the other thing I decided when I started this channel was we're not going to sacrifice our principles on testing a knife. I don't abuse knives, don't believe in abusing knife. I don't believe it proves anything. But I'm not going to sacrifice my test for somebody's feelings or for a knife maker's feelings or anything like that. My guy DJ Horn said it best. He says, Gab, just remember this, son, it sucks to suck. So if the knife fails on a normal test, it is what it is. Now, again, I want to throw a shout out to Timbo, and I believe it's 437. But Timbo has allowed me to test these, and he says, Gab, test them the way you test them. That's why I'm sending them to you, and I'm so appreciative to that dude, and I have his permission to do this. So we're going to give it hell. Now, you seen it cut through that tire, and then you see me fumbling with this water hose. Old hands balling there. You got to watch me, son. My hands are busted. Yeah, Scab, you're killing me, son. Now, we cut through the water hose. We cut through the tire. We're going to come back and cut through the tire again. No damage to the edge. There was no chipping, no rolling, no anything. And it shouldn't. That's the whole thing, guys. These tests that I do, while no, you may never cut your tire. I understand that. You may never baton, you may never, I get all that. But if you have to, I want to show you that it can. Now, I was incredibly impressed with the sharpness there on that tire, son. This knife just blew straight through it like it wasn't there. And these are just some old nylon canvas type things off of an apron. Cuts it up pretty good. The one thing too I want y'all to notice on this knife, or one of the things I want y'all to notice, the sharpness is insane. This knife goes for about $400, just so you know. So, and it's made in America. So those things there, I'm trying to throw in everything I can. Now, here's my thing: $400 Bowie, it should do all this. That's just the truth. You know, if you're making a $400 wall hanger, go ahead and shut your doors, because you ain't doing nothing to screw anybody. Now, that's not what this is. This is a highly functional knife, and it works well. We're going to do some chopping. The edge holds up really, really well. If I had my druthers, we would do full tang all the time. We just would. Let me say that up front. But I didn't build the damn knife. I'm just testing it, okay? So I can't wish it in there. Now, this knife held up incredibly well. It really did. And like I said, again, guys, it's 1/4 inch thick. It's A2 tool steel. Right here, we go right through a knot. No edge damage, no nothing. So this knife was done correctly, and it's the Shining Mountain Bowie. I messed that up the other day. I thought it was the Highwayman, just got twisted. I'm going to do the Highwayman 3 probably tomorrow from Bark River. And I'm excited about doing that, but I love this knife. I love Bowies. I love Jim Bowie. Look at that. Straight through there, son. Just some hard downward chops. The handle, let's talk about it a little bit. I had a dramatic pause. I had to get something to drink. Now, I did use it to pull the staples out the end of that piece of pressure-treated 2x4. No tip damage, no nothing. Again, I know that it shouldn't, but that's why we do these tests. The handle. I seen Chris Tanner did a review on one of these, and he said he had medium hands, and it was just about, I believe this was the stacked leather one he was showing. It was a little bit too large for him. I have large hands, and it fit pretty good. I will say this, I don't know that it's conducive for smaller hands. I'm just being really honest with you. It's got a good feel to it. It's got an old school feel to it. You're putting your hand around a hunk of steel, well, leather, but you know what I'm saying, wrapped around steel. So it's a great feeling knife. It's not a super heavy knife, but the handle is large, and that's something that, you know, that you should be aware of. Edge held up good there. Thanks, Cab. Thank you for, now it's got the guard. I could, as far as guards goes, guys, it's a mouthful. I could take them or leave them. I really, really, really could. This one does not get in the way. If you'll notice on a lot of the slicing I did, the guard was not an issue. So the knife handled incredibly well. And again, novice at best. I don't claim to be anything than what I am. And so we can show you a little bit of woodworking, a little bit of camping type stuff, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of chopping. We do a little batoning. And then during the batoning, and I'll point it out again when we get to that, but during the batoning, I baton, I'd stop, I check the edge. Baton, stop, check the edge. Baton. Why? I just want to make sure, because we used a hackberry to go through. It's incredibly hard. And I wanted to show like different stages of the batoning. Does it hold up? It did, but I'll show you that when I get to that. There was at no time was I in any fear that the knife would give, break, or anything. That's why I wanted to explain that up front. Now, here we're going to cut our regular mediums, our nylon style rope, our paracord, attaboy scab. We'll get a good hard stab right there. Got good penetration. It is a clip point, so you do get pretty good penetration. No problems whatsoever with this nylon rope. No problems whatsoever with the paracord. Really, when it comes to the sharpness of the knife, honest to God, no problems, period. Incredibly sharp knife, held up really well. The two things I would change would be the handle, and just make it just maybe a hair smaller or contour it a little more, and full tang. That's it. It is a gorgeous, and those are just suggestions. Those aren't, I know zero about designing a knife. I just know what I'd like to see a little more. Other than that, damn good knife. The guard never got loose on there. And here's what I was saying. Now, use kind of a slice chop type deal. This is my baton pole. I'm still working on it. And part of using this thing and testing the various knives, because this is an old hackberry tree limb too, is just showing y'all the slicing, a little bit of chopping, slicing, a little bit of chopping. And it does well. You know, you notice I didn't have to put my thumb up against it. I didn't have to move my hand around. It just handled well. And that comes from having a good sharp knife with a good edge on it. That's plain and simple. And you'll see that over the course of the next couple weeks. We're going to have different knives coming in. And to everybody who sent me knives and is sending me knives, thank you. Thank you, thank you so much for trusting me. Now, I have some Work Tough Gear knives coming in from Mr. Vic. Super excited about that. The thing that I love about them boys is they're like, hey, we're going to send you some of these. Beat the hell out of them. Let us know. Appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all. Timbo, again, dude, thank you for everybody. JR, everybody that sends me knives. And here I go. I'm not going to go down that route. I do want to do a special thank you and shout out to DJ Horn again for letting me test that Billy Wah demo. What an outstanding knife. Guys, I'm so appreciative. One of the reasons that I mention this all the time. Now, here we are with the batoning and stopping, batoning, again, doing this kind of for a reason. I just want y'all to know that I am appreciative, and I am thankful, and I am never expectant. Thank y'all, every one of you, so much for your willingness to give and stand behind Choir Boys Cutlery. I appreciate it. I just, that's been on my heart, and I really want to let y'all know that. The other thing is, yesterday while we were kayaking, the video you see me in the water, that was really at a point, guys, that was a scary situation. I rolled, the kayak rolled, it got away from me, it rolled, and I got tied up. I have a leash on my paddle, and my legs got tied up in that thing, and honestly, there for a minute or two, or a second or two, I didn't know if I was going to be able to get up. Good Lord was looking out for me, and I am appreciative, again, to be here. And even in the video yesterday, I said last year I would have died. That's because the condition I was in, the mentality I was in, and I'm mentioning that because you guys, with your support, your love, your willingness to share these things and stand behind me, and Megatron, with her love and support, you guys have brought me to a totally different place, and I love y'all and thank you for it. Now, back to the knife. We got about a minute and a half left. Right here again, now you see me fumbling with it. Again, guys, I'm a novice at best, and batoning is not my strong suit. But you see, we give the knife some good, strong whacks. Why? Are we trying to break the knife? No. We're trying to damage the knife? No. We're trying to see the capabilities of the knife and make sure that everything's everything. And it is. This knife held up incredibly well. Love this knife. I really do. Again, the two small alterations, those are just personal preferences. You see there, I checked the edge. I tried to do that all the way through. We're going to give it a good hard whack. And there she blows. In twain, son. And came right back with a little slicey cutting. Do I recommend the knife? Yes, sir, I do. Again, Shining Mountain Bowie A2 steel, 1/4 inch thick. It's made in Michigan, Megatron's home state, so she's excited about that. Held up really well. Well, guys, listen. My guy Mikey, whom I love, says it best. He says, Scab, never give up, never surrender, and everything will be okay. And Mikey's true. Go subscribe to my boy Timbo, Donnie B all day, Joe from Steel Forged and Fire, and all the usuals. Hey, I love y'all. I'm Scab. You're not, and I'm gone, son.